Hi, I'm Tyler Luchek.
I'm Daniel Moon, right here. Moon, like a moon.
And we are Dark Side of the Moon.
Dark Side!
We are about to embark on our Roadtrip Nation project. Our fears are finding a person to interview in time and figuring out questions to ask them. But luckily we have our Roadtrip Nation project book, and thank you. We're looking for an interview appointment with a local high school counselor. We decided to try to get Miss Dunn, and who works at La Cañada High School. Hello, Miss Dunn. I'm Tyler Luchek. And I was wondering if you'd be interested in doing an interview for a Roadtrip Nation project. Okay, great. Thanks. Bye. So now I've printed out my map and we're all set for our interview. So this Roadtrip Nation project has given us the opportunity to talk to amazing people. And have them talking about their passions and what they do for a living and how they got started.
Okay.
So, did you have an experience in your life that made you want to become a counselor?
I did, actually. The first time that I considered becoming a counselor was when I was in high school, and I was a student here at this campus, and I was actually in Bridge, and doing that peer counseling, peer mentoring thing, I realized how much I really enjoy talking to people. And so for a long, long time, I thought I would go and become a marriage and family therapist. And then I went to college and studied psychology and really enjoyed it, but realized that I didn't want to only work with people when they were in crisis. And I think a lot of times that's what you end up doing, at least initially as a marriage and family therapist, is you're working with people in crisis, which that's certainly an element of what I do as a school counselor, but in talking with various people, and I loved school. I loved high school. I enjoyed my time, and so was actually in talking with my mother-in-law, she mentioned, why don't you become a school counselor? And so that's ultimately the really short version of how I decided to become a school counselor.
There's a term in Roadtrip Nation that is noise. It's thoughts or people or conversations that distracted you from your passion. And what would you say your noise was?
Oh, that's a good question. I think some of my noise was you don't make a whole lot of money when you choose to go into education, and that's hard, especially being someone who grew up in La Cañada and experiencing, not necessarily through my own family's financial situation, but just living in an affluent community. It's hard to make the choice to choose a career where you know you're never going to be very wealthy.
So what qualities are needed to be a successful student and educational counselor? And what's your personal definition of success?
I would say I'm still learning how to be a successful school counselor. I think you have to be someone who's able to go with the flow and do things differently and have your day disrupted and not get all uptight about that. But the other piece of it is there's a huge accountability piece, and especially in a community like ours where there's lots and lots of parent participation, you know, taking it for how it feels to them rather than me making a judgment about it. But anyways, how to be a successful, what other characteristics? You have to like people. You have to love people because you're talking with people all day long. And you have to also, I think, be willing to put your own biases and your own thoughts aside to really serve the needs of your school the best. As a school counselor, I see myself, obviously students are my first priority, but I see teachers and then the students' parents as being just as important, and other staff people, you know.
What is your definition of success?
Oh, my definition of success, man. I think my definition of success is doing whatever you're doing at the highest level that you're capable of doing it.
If you can give one piece of advice to help us find our inspiration, what would that be?
Don't try to be somebody you're not. Don't try to do what you think you should do or become who your parents want you to be, or, you know, you have to listen to your heart, because ultimately you're going to be the person whose alarm goes off every single morning way earlier than you want it to, and you have to get out of bed and you have to go and you want to be at your best. And you can't do that if you've chosen a career that doesn't ring true for who you are and doesn't use your strengths and your gifts in the best way.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Thank you. Good job.
We've just interviewed Miss Dunn, a high school counselor. She gave us some good advice as to follow our passion, find a career that allows us to do what we love, and yet make a decent living at it.